All right, welcome to another weekly hobby progress update. Coming in with a brand new time period for me, World War II. Was able to get a little painting done this weekend. It's been a little light over the past couple of weeks because of life things, but I'm back at it with a brand new time period, brand new game, brand new range. This is a Zrínyi 2. It's a Hungarian specific tank for World War II, Eastern Theater. And it is from Mad Bob Miniatures. I believe it's a resin 3D print, might be cast, but I believe it's a resin 3D print. I don't know. It seems to be resin 3D print in quality, which I'm fine with. I think it's great. The price was right as well. Beats the heck out of Warlord prices and easier to assemble to boot. I don't love my paint job here. Went with something kind of simple where I just sponged on a few colors. Didn't pay a lot of attention to how they actually camouflage their tanks, but I'm not going for a ton of authenticity with this army. I'm just having fun. I want it to look cool, and I want to play some games of bolt action because I really enjoyed 5th edition Warhammer back in the day. So I believe this is a self-propelled artillery or an anti-tank gun. All I know is it falls into the tank slot in bolt action's rules. This thing is a howitzer type gun, so anti-infantry, although the Fortress Budapest book, which, let me see if I've got it in reach, I don't, it is an awesome supplement. It's really what got me interested in bolt action. That supplement just looks so beautiful, and I decided, based on that and based on kind of research of ranges and what had unique models and unique options, I decided Hungarians were what I was going to go with in Eastern Theater. So this tank rider is from it's for a game called Iron Cross, not for bolt action. Of course, you can use them interchangeably. I think it's Great Escape Games that puts it out. And it's got a very cool, distinct look, which to me yells Hungarian somehow. I love it. Another very Hungarian design is a Saba 39M. This is, I still need to kind of hit it with a dull coat. It's a little shiny in places. But this is a light recce vehicle, which has dual direction. So it is extremely maneuverable, very hard to pin down. It's not very offensive though. I'm a little underwhelmed with its offensive capability. It's got a anti-tank rifle, and then I lost the bit for the machine gun, so I just clipped a piece off a sprue and said that this will do. The tank rider again is from Great Escape and is to support their Iron Cross Hungarian range, wearing a polkita hat, something like that. It's just kind of a foldable little hat. Pretty cool little miniature, and I really designed my Hungarian forces based on the miniatures I wanted, and they like having some unique rules and unique flavor, and I thought dual direction recce vehicle sounded like just the fit, so I ordered that up from Warlord. I have another Hungarian thing that follows that theme of being very Hungarian is a mounted sniper, which I think is pretty cool. I'm going to rebase him. That's why you don't see anything done here. I'm going to do a whole cavalry unit and maybe even a division. And those are all going to be based on ovals as opposed to these pills. I just think ovals look a little bit better. It's also going to be a little thinner too. But I'm still deciding on that one. This guy, like all my Hungarian infantry, I went with a army painter green. Let me see if I get it over here. One of their spray greens for the base, army green that everything is primed with. And then the hat I gave their green wash to. It is the green skin shade. Let's see if I got it. Green tone. The rest of the body, instead of getting that green tone, got the military shader. And then I highlighted each a little differently. One is highlighted scaly hide, that's the cloth, and the helmet itself is highlighted. I've got it set aside. I don't remember the name of it, some wacky name. But I went with trying to replicate the look of the Fortress Budapest models, and just because that book was so great. So let me show you something that's a little more finished. Actually, we're going to do a truck first. You gotta have transports. This is from Mad Bob. Again, I think it's a 3D print. You see a little texture up there, which is a little less than ideal, but it's a truck. I don't care. I think it looks great for what it is. It's the right size, and if it's the price is right. I did put a driver in there. I took one of the tank drivers that I had and put him in there and pointing. I thought it was a pretty cool, flavorful thing there. I'm not positive Hungarians drove sitting on the right side of the vehicle, but mine certainly is. And I did these windshields. Doesn't really evoke windshield all that well. I should have followed a guide or something, but it was fun to do. Last one of this batch is the only infantry that's finished. So this is a medium machine gun team, and they're using like a World War I vintage medium machine gun there. They benefit from the rules though for German, I think MG42s, so they get the extra die, which I think is pretty cool. In this game, I'm trying to take like really unique things for the Hungarians, and one of the unique things they get to do is they get to also take the unique things that Germans have. So I think it's a double whammy of uniqueness, which is really fun. For this basing, this is my test base. I wanted to try out a few different things. I bought some bricks from Pegasus Hobbies, and you see those there. They're their small brick pack. I printed out a Hungarian World War II propaganda poster and glued it down there and kind of put some Army Painter soft tone on it to make it look dirty. Put a street sign back there, no idea what it says, and then put on some leaves and some tufts and called it a day. And I'm pretty happy with the results. This is a little higher effort than the contrast method that I use on almost all of my miniatures. But it was fun to get away from contrast just for one project, and a lot of the work's done for me for some of the models where the primer, I do 3 layers over the primer, right? I do a dry brush, then a wash, then a highlight. So it's still a little bit of work, but it's a little more mindless than kind of doing Celtic stripes, for instance. And a couple different shades of green is just kind of fun for me. I don't do a ton of green. So this is how the army is going to look from an infantry standpoint. Very green. I may introduce Hungarian style camo, although I don't have a lot of fun doing camo. I'll kind of have to perfect my methods, see if I like it with a little more experimentation. They're going to look like this, and I have settled on this as my basing. I'm pretty happy with this basing. Okay, I'm going to show off just something really quick. This isn't my first foray into bolt action. When the first edition bolt action rules came out, I got them immediately. I was really excited because I was a huge fan of 5th edition Warhammer 40k, a very big Alessio fan as well. I thought this game's going to be awesome. I couldn't get anyone to play it with me. So at the time, I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to need to order both armies, and I'm going to have everything painted up. So I collected 3 armies in 172. I got them extremely cheap. They're a lot more expensive now, but at the time, 172 was very cheap. And I've just recently updated them with a few models so that I can play some test games while my buddy paints his Germans and I finish up my Hungarians. So for the 172, I've got a German Tiger. This is not painted by me. It was purchased, all painted and ready, which is pretty cool. In 172, you can find these like really cool little kits that are all ready to go very inexpensively. I've got a British Sherman, no decals yet, but this is from a plastic kit that comes with 2 of them for 10 bucks, you know, something like that, which is a great little deal for just learning to play a game, really. That's why I'm doing 172. And it's so low effort. Then I've got a British Mortar, because mortars seem like a must-take in bolt action, and I wanted to try them out. These aren't regulation British colors. They are the easiest thing I could paint. I just went with a couple contrast tones that I knew would work, and they just don't look German. That was my goal. And a German machine gun team and a German sniper. Just really, again, really quick paint jobs on extremely cheap miniatures. Like I bought gigantic collections, you know, I think like 300 miniatures in 172 for a total of, I believe it was like $18. And then I added 3 tanks, 1 Tiger and 2 Shermans. So very little cost invested and then very little time invested. I painted the entire German army in an afternoon, and the British I did in a day. So I'm ready to play 1,000-point battles just to kind of get used to the rules and get used to playing while me and my buddy paint the rest of our forces, which I can recommend to anybody. Is that kind of a cool way to get into a game, is to get into it in a smaller scale. I do it with 10mm sometimes. I have a wide 10mm collection. I use it for a lot of things, but I will use it to see if I like a game. You know, play it small on the coffee table. And if you have fun, then you put in all the time to do it 28mm. Because we all know time in our hobbies is the thing that we're missing, right? We've got all the money in the world to buy miniatures, it feels like sometimes, and you know, our appetites are bigger than our storage closets, but time is where everything falls apart, because you really gotta have respect for the games and your collections. You gotta spend the time to paint things. I'm very much trying to use the things I have, although sometimes I get caught into a loop like this bolt action. I bought a whole new army. So it's a new project. We'll get to the other backlog projects, like all of this stuff, soon enough. All right, take care.